Hi! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Teacher Josa, welcoming you all to our personal development class. Oh, gulat ka sa headband ko, no? All right. So, our last topic is all about developmental task according to Professor Hewighurst. So, let's start. I want you to share your memorable experience in different stages of life. Stage, for example, infancy, you're under 2 years old, toddlerhood, 2 to 4 years, early childhood, and middle childhood, adolescence. Here's mine. Toddlerhood. Memorable experience, of course, when I entered Child and Youth Development Center during 1996 to 1997. Early childhood when I received a medal because I won one of the competitions, of course, best in social studies. Middle childhood, 14 years old. Yan. With my friends, pusakat dolls. Next is adolescence. Of course, a memorable experience, yung graduation. And I had my first advisory class way back 2011 when I was like 19 years old. Early adulthood. Yeah, and I was like 20 or 19 or 20 years old to, I think, 25 or 24. No. When I visited Japan and observed 13 super science high school, I observed Japanese classes. Ayun, nosebleed. All right, so our topic for today is evaluate one's development. Our content standard is the learners demonstrate understanding of the skills and tasks and challenges appropriate for middle and late adolescence and preparatory to early childhood. For performance standard, the learner shall be able to make a list of ways to become responsible adolescents prepared for adult life and manage the demands of teen years. For our most essential competency, evaluate one's development through the help of significant people around him or her. One objective is to share one's evaluation of development with classmates and friends. So let's discuss Eric Erickson's different stages of life. First is infancy, under 2 years old. Okay? So here, virtues or virtue to develop is hope. Our psychological crisis is trust versus mistrust. Your existential questions would be, can I trust the world? Example, feeding, abandonment, and etc. So sinasabi ni Eric Erickson that a baby must receive care and proper way to take good care of him or her. And of course, wag iiwanan, 'di ba? 'Yun. The more the baby receive those needs, magkakaroon daw siya ng trust sa kanyang sarili. If not, mistrust. Okay? Next is toddlerhood. Virtue to develop is will. Psychological crisis is autonomy versus shame and doubt. Significant relationship, parents. Existential question, is it okay to be me? Examples, toilet training, clothing themselves, no? Yung kaya nila yung sarili nila. So, if a toddler did not receive enough care, enough training para maging independent siya, for example, no? Nagkakaroon siya ng psychological crisis which is shame and doubt versus sa autonomy, yung freedom to, yun nga, pumunta ng toilet mag-isa, magdamit siyang mag-isa niya, no? So, if walang ganong training, sabi ni Eric Erickson, pwedeng ma-develop yung shame and doubt, no? Kasi gusto mo lagi na dependent sa magulang. Nahihiya masyado kasi yun nga, nasa comfort zone. Next level is early childhood. So, virtue to develop is your purpose. Psychological crisis is initiative versus guilt. Significant relationship this time is the whole family. And a existential question, is it okay for me to do, move, and act? Examples, exploring, using tools, or making art. So here, yung psychological crisis is initiative versus guilt. No, parang sabi ng bata, okay lang po ba na I draw or maglagay ako ng color sa isang bagay or magda-doubt ako or magi-guilty ako for doing things, no? Kaya minsan, for example, may kapatid kayo na naguguri-guri ng pader ninyo, better na lagyan niyo na lang ng Manila paper para dun siya maguri. Kasi we call it emergent literacy na ano yun start ng kanyang pagsusulat kaya siya nahihilig magsulat. Also, sizes of pen uh, ay mahalaga, no? Kapag batang-bata pa, kailangan yung matabang pen and then habang lumalaki yung maliliit or yung maninipis. Okay? Next is middle childhood. Middle childhood, 9 to 12 years old. Virtue to develop is competence. Psychosocial crisis is psychological crisis ay industry versus inferiority. Significant relationship, of course, neighborhood, and the school. Existential question, can I make it in the world of people and things? Example is schools and sports, no? So, kailangan ma-expose yung mga middle childhood in sports, social relationships, yung having friends, etc. No? Kasi nagkakaroon siya ng tinatawag nating psychosocial crisis, industry versus inferiority. Industry meaning nakakapag-ambag kahit paano. And nagkakaroon siya ng nagiging competent siya because of those activity instead na yung feeling na inferior siya. Kasi because of lack of wisdom, lack of training, lack of exposures, etc. Kaya minsan din okay lang madapa ang isang bata kasi at least na-experience niya. No, mahirap yung masyadong protective kasi lagi nasa comfort zone, no? Next is early adulthood. Virtue to develop is love. This time, wait lang. For adolescents pala, Ekis. Adolescence is 13 to 19 years old. Virtue to develop is fidelity. Fidelity. Psychological crisis, identity versus role confusion. And significant relationship, peers and role model. Existential question, who I am, who am I, who can I be? And examples here, social relationships. So again, in adolescence stage, we experience changes in our physical body, yung identity natin, we question, wait lang, sino ba talaga ako? Ano ba talaga ako? Ano ba talaga yung gusto ko? No? So if hindi daw klaro, according to Eric Erickson, yung kaniyang identity, nagkakaroon ng, yun nga, identity versus role confusion. Yun yung sinasabi ng mga magulang sa atin na pag ikaw ay grade 8 ka, ang bata-bata mo ba? Ginagawa mo na yan. Blah, 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 blah. Pero pag medyo lumaki ka na, for example, no, grade 9 or pag grade 9 ka, sabihin naman sa'yo ng magulang mo na, ang tanda-tanda mo na, hindi mo pa alam. No? Or even kahit na grade 9 ka, sabihin pa rin niya sa'yo na, ba't mo ito ginagawa? Ba't mo yung ginagawa? Bata-bata mo pa. Pag hindi mo naman ginawa, sabihin sa'yo na, ang tanda-tanda mo na, hindi mo pa ginagawa. Same with Pag nagpaalam ka, galit, ay hindi papayag. Pero pag hindi ka nagpaalam, galit pa rin, no? Kasi hindi ka nagsabi. So, nagkakaroon ng confusion sa role mo, no? So, in uh, sa stage na 'to, it is vital for us to have a clear identity, clear purpose, and sense of, you know, identity. Alright. Next is, yun na yung sinasabi ko kanina, early adulthood, 20 to 39 years old. Virtue to develop is love. Psychosocial crisis, intimacy versus isolation. Significant relationship, friends and partners. Existential question, can I love? Pwede ko bang maramdaman yung love? Example ay romantic relationship. Okay? So, sa stage na to, it's either we feel uh, love or unlove. Depende sa atin, no? Hindi naman lahat ng minamahal, ano lang eh, boyfriend, girlfriend eh. Pwede rin naman yung mga friends mo eh. No? And reminder to all youth was watching this video, do not forget your friends kapag nagkaroon ka ng love life. Kasi sila yung una mong nakilala before your boyfriend or your girlfriend. And again, friends divide sadness and multiply happiness. Okay? So treasure your friends, no? Okay. Next is middle adulthood, 40 to 59 years old. Virtue to develop is care. Psychosocial crisis is generativity versus stagnation. Significant relationship, household, or workmates. Okay? Existential question, can I make my life count? Mahalaga pa ba yung buhay ko? Example is your work and yung parenthood, no? So it's generativity versus stagnation, meaning may purpose pa ba yung ginagawa ko? Nag-i-improve pa ba ako o stagnant na? Wala ng development. Nandun na ako, palagi nasa plateau na. Wala ng improvement. Okay? Next is late adulthood, the last stage, 60 and above. Where to develop is wisdom. Psychosocial problem, ego, integrity versus despair. Significant relationship, mankind. Existential question, is it okay to have been me? And example is your reflection on life. So for late adulthood, no, nagkakaroon actually ito ng ano eh, ng self-doubt na mahalaga pa ba ako porket matanda na ako. Sila na lang kasi bata sila, no? So, ayun, napakahalaga ng reflection and wisdom in life. And at the end of the day, age is just you know, uh, quality of your mind na habang tumatanda, sana nagkakaroon ng wisdom, no, to share. Hindi yung habang tumatanda, paurong, no? All right. So that is according to Eric Erickson's theory, psychosocial theory. So for our learning activity, I want you to write 3 facts related to what you have learned from our topic, one's development in comparison to others. You may answer the guide questions. What are the psychosocial crises you've experienced? Who are the significant people in your life that help you to become a better person? Why do we need to evaluate one's development? Bakit kailangan natin tignan na, okay, during this time, I experienced yung mistrust versus trust. Uh, sa stage ko ngayon, nako-confuse ako in my role. No? So, why do we need to evaluate one's development? And how are we going to improve ourselves given, for example, na infancy ay hindi mo na-experience yung love ng nanay, walang nagpapakain sa'yo, for example, no? Or during toddlerhood, wala ka namang parent to train you to use toilet, or during adolescence, you feel alone and unloved. So, how are you going to improve your self given the situations or yung mga past experiences mo. Ano yung pwede mong gawin ngayon? Okay? So, here's yung look or itsura ng fact swap. So, facts, your facts, and then facts from your classmates. For our valuing application and generalization, I want you to remember this. Do not underestimate yourself by comparing yourself with others. It's our differences that make us unique and define just how special we are. Okay? So for additional activity, I want you to take good care of yourself. Please eat right, sleep right, and do some exercises. Okay? Please, gawin natin. Okay? I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Yan, headband ko. Pero totoo, masakit ulo kaya ganyan, hinigpitan. Bye-bye.